and unusual stuff some of it is. All very similar objects. That one's the most recent one, found in Spain. Now I've got a feeling these are all the same object. I think that's thanks to this one here that looks like it's that one having come through an atmosphere and only partially burnt up. These have burnt all that outer covering of whatever looks like that metallic it is. This does indeed, to me, look like that's gone through some burnout into the atmosphere. Which does beg the question, how did that one get in without getting burnt up? Which could help substantiate a second theory. That is an unusual thing, really, because it's clearly not a meteorite. And neither's that. And that, although that may be, it is not a weather balloon. However, it looks very much like that, which is one of those. Now that is an old RF cavity from LEP, now on display at the Microcosm exhibit at CERN. Now look at that. Isn't that interesting? To me, that looks very, very similar to our boy over here. Pipe work on the outside. Perhaps the skin looks different either because something to do with, although this looks like a copper still that some hillbillies put together, I'm sure it's not. And I'm inclined to think that the covering may be a little bit deceptive in its colour, which case this may be the result of heating, or I don't know, just theories. However, to the object. The reason I think this is, in fact, the more I look at this, the more I'm convinced this is exactly what this is, and I'll show you for why. First of all, to tie this object to be like this one is a very unusually shaped object. If you look at these two openings here, although these two are opposite them, and could be considered a pole, some sort of polarity around there, this hole here, if this one has another hole, the other side, equaling this situation of a polarity of going straight through, and that would make this join here oblique to both of them. They are both at a strange angle, although that might be just the way it's tilted. I think the poles to this thing are actually here, through in this direction. That little ridge there, which could be this ridge here, running round, indicating that this, which means then if we can step that one to that one and say, well, that one there does look like that one with this burnt out, and that is what happens when it finally gets in, then how is this one, as it is, with what looks like barnacles on it? Unless that's not barnacles and this is, unless it's something we can't see here perhaps, I'd be very intrigued to know what these things are on this. It's the super proton synchrotron, which is that machine there. I believe that's what that is. Now, if that's the case, if these are coming from outer space, it makes perfect sense in a frail world. Rather than rooted on the planet, put your power source in outer space. So I believe what's happened is either one of two things. One, they've built a LHC in outer space, and I think that they've mucked something up. And something's gone tits up and they've blown it up, and that's why we've had this stuff land on the planet. Except for a couple of things. First of these couple of things, if this was built in outer space and it blew up in outer space, how come that one's not completely vanishing-alleyed, having been blown up by antimatter, which apparently is the next worst thing since Lucifer? And some even think it's that. How did that one get in without? And if they turn out to be barnacles on them, when did that land? Because what you might be surprised to find out is that one landed in Australia in 2008. And it's exactly what it is. Somewhere it is. Oh yeah, the RHIC. Now apparently that RHIC thing was over here in America. So somewhere over here, they had one of those things that threw the heavy items at each other. I wonder if it's still there or whether they blew that one up. And it literally launched it into orbit. And now it's coming back down again. However, perhaps not all of it went into orbit. Who knows? What do you think? Anybody got any ideas?